Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Looks like they're cleaning our underwater cam at the Deerfield Beach Live underwater cam, which you can view yourself anytime. Got a lifeguard out there and another guy. I guess they're sharing a hose. Looks like some kind of rig they got going on. Saw a couple barracudas checking them out because they are curious animals. Well, I hope your weekend was pretty good. Mine was not bad at all. Went out and did a little fishing yesterday. Didn't catch much. Oh, there goes that barracuda. Watch your back, buddy. Didn't catch an awful lot, a couple fish, but still had a nice day. It was a beautiful day out. I hope you enjoyed your day as well. Feel sorry for those peeps up in Louisiana, though. Boy, what a tough... We've been through that here, as most of you know. Us South Florida folks have been through a few of these. And again, we feel for them for sure. Well, hey, let's move along here. I'd like to thank these guys for cleaning this. Let's see. I guess they do it on Mondays. It's the only time I've really seen them. So they come down on Mondays, obviously, and they clean the lenses here. What a cool job that would be, huh? Well, let's take a look and see what's going on in today's markets. Let me escape from this crew. And don't forget, that's a live Deerfield Beach cam in case this is the first time you've seen this video. Markets are, well, what did my coin say? My coin said... Gosh, the coin didn't say anything, did it? Let's do a flip here and see what the coin says. Now, I'm not even going to do the typical spin, and the coin says a bear. Put her down for now. And that's kind of what we got right now. We've got a little bear market compared to what happened on Friday. What a weird weekend that was, too. Not weekend, but Thursday and Friday. Kind of expecting markets to get hammered a little bit, but they didn't. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's they. Maybe the expectation is they were figuring everyone's expecting it, so don't do it. I have no clue why it didn't get stomped on because the economic news wasn't that terrible. I mean, all Powell did is come out and just jawbone like he's always done. You figured that would have provided some opportunity, but maybe after last week's monkey hammering, or I mean 2 weeks ago, where it was just so blatant and so big and so in our faces, they probably figured they better not tempt the gods twice here. Because the people might revolt. And how do you revolt? You buy physical. Don't buy into their stupid paper games. Get rid of them frickin' ETFs. My opinion now. I'm not a financial advisor, but I don't trust them myself. And I wouldn't stay away from ETFs. Stay away from their game. Period. Put the beauty of precious metals, unlike stocks. You can't go and take a piece of Apple. Well, I guess you can. You can buy an iPad or something, but more or less, you can't take a piece of the company and bring it home. You know, that's with gold. You own a piece of the company, and you get to hold it in your hands. That you can't say with stocks and any other things, quite frankly. Markets were down a little bit. I think they were 18. Look at that high of 1823. That was probably last night sometime. I don't think it was this morning. I believe it closed around 18, 19 on Friday. So a low of 1811 here and a high of 1823 in the overnight markets. Currently set on 1811.41. I'll refresh this screen too. It might have changed in the last 10 or 15 minutes since I put this screen up. It is a static screen. And silver bopped below that 24 mark again. Let's see, a range of 24.23 is a high. And 23.95 is a low. We're currently sitting at that low. It's New York. New York seems to be pecking away at it. A little bit at a time. I mean, we're not seeing these big, monkey hammers. Just these little small ones like this. And platinum's still holding that $1,000 mark down $6. Looks like all three metals are in the red except for palladium. And I got to tell you, I just don't watch palladium enough. I don't even look whether it's green or red on a daily basis to make any note that palladium's a tell at all. But it looks like, again, our main three metals are down today. Let me do a quick refresh on that screen and let's see if there's any changes here. Up a tiny bit from where it was, and we're above that 24 mark. So, holding on to these levels where we were last week. Let's see what happens. Where do we go from here? I'm not quite sure. As far as up or down, it seems like to be a sideways market right now. I think we're in the waiting place. That Dr. Seuss book, The Waiting Place, waiting to do this, waiting to do that, waiting to wait. So I think we're kind of like in that waiting place with precious metals. Again, don't be in a hurry for this market to move real quickly. I think that when we do see it move, it's going to move real big and unexpectedly as well. So Don't ask me exactly when that's going to be. I wish I knew. I'd make a big play on that. Let's take a look. Again, markets kind of hanging where they were on Friday. Let's see what happens. Not too much activity, though. And that would apply to the news today as well, which I'll get to in a moment. But first, I'd like to talk about our words of the day. Two words of the day I'd like to talk about. Crony capitalism. And why do I want to talk about these words? Because they're very important to all of us, including us gold and silver stackers, to understand what kind of environment we've got going out there. There's two types of capitalism. There's crony capitalism and there's free market capitalism. Most of you know the difference, but I like this site right here. I just kind of wanted to point it out that the difference is this is what we've got currently and we've had for many years. We've got crony capitalism. This is what the kids, all these Marxist and socialist kids, want to be socialist and communist. They don't get it. They don't understand that this is not a capitalist, a free market capitalist system we've got going on right now. It is a crony capitalist system, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Definition of crony capitalism: an economic system in which individuals and businesses with political connections, sound familiar, and influence are favored as through tax breaks, grants, and other forms of government assistance. Crony capitalism. And again, it just says up here, a system in which individuals and businesses with political connections and influence are favored as through tax-based grants and other forms of free government assistance. I'm going to go so far as to say that that these handouts that they're giving to people is a form of crony capitalism, because the government basically wants their votes, so they give them free stuff. So let's say that it's individuals with political connections and influence would also be the voter sometimes when it's beneficial for them to cater to the voter and pay off the voter with benefits and all these things. But what we've got, I digress slightly there, what we've got going on right now in our society, and has been for many decades now, is crony capitalism. And in ways seen as suppressing open competition in a free market. So basically, I'm going to read this one more time. An economic system in which individuals and businesses with political connections and influence are favored as, tax breaks, grants, and other forms of government assistance in a way seen as suppressing open competition in free markets. So not only is it being in bed with the government, so kind of like a symbiotic relationship between individuals and businesses that, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's what's been going on for years and years. And basically what that does is it kills the free marketplace. Let's talk about what the free marketplace is real quick. What is free market capitalism? I like Investopedia, by the way. I probably should have looked up crony capitalism on Investopedia, but I forgot to. I like their definitions are the best out of for any kind of investment terms. When you're reading something, you hear a term you're not familiar with. I highly recommend that you get familiar with it. It makes you smarter than the average bear if you do. And Investopedia is one of those websites that does a really good job at that, without throwing their political spin into it like Wiki and others do. So free market. What is a free marketplace? The free market is an economic system based on supply and demand. Okay, here's our first key word right here. First key phrase or sentence. It's based on supply and demand with little or no government control. You get it now? It is a summary description of all voluntary exchanges. Voluntary is a key word that take place in a given economic environment. Free markets are characterized by a spontaneous and decentralized order of arrangements which individuals make economic decisions. Based on its political and legal rules, a country's free market economy may range between very large or entirely black market. So, governments, crony capitalism will call business between peoples that doesn't involve regulation, doesn't involve them. They'll call it the black market. Isn't that funny? Kind of making the inference that it's a illegal activity, it shouldn't be happening. No less, that's what crony capitalists do. That's what our government does, because our government has become a crony capitalist state. More or less. So a free market is, key takeaways for a free market. A free market is one where voluntary exchange and laws of supply and demand provide the sole basis for the economic system without government intervention. A key feature of free markets is the absence of coerced, forced transactions or conditions on transactions. That should sound real familiar right here, even more familiar right now. Orwell is spinning in his grave at this moment, I'm sure, in these times, I'm sure. While no pure free market economies actually exist, unfortunately, and all markets are in some way constrained, economists who measure the degree of freedom in markets have found a generally positive relationship between free markets and a measure of economic well-being. So even economists have to agree that crony capitalism sucks. I don't know why they keep going for it. Crony capitalism sucks, and the free marketplace is the place to be. But why do we exist in why is our government crony capitalist? Why do we exist in a crony capitalist state? Well, that's because that's where individuals and businesses that want special favors, and they want to be able to pay an enforcer, like a mob enforcer, to knock their competition out. That's what they do, more or less. That's crony capitalism. That's when big pharmacy, or when investment banks, or when insurance companies, or the health industry, or whoever it may be, gets in bed with government to force you to use their product and to force all the competition out, more or less. That's basically what happens, and they get their buddies in government to do it for you. This also applies to gold and silver markets, so if you wonder where I'm going, they're in bed. The bullion banks and the bankers are in bed with our government. It's basically crony capitalism, more or less. So it does tie into what we do here, folks. Absolutely, we're living, and this is why markets like precious metal markets, equity markets, whatever markets, currency markets, you name it, are manipulated because of crony capitalism. That's why they get away with it. That's why they're too big to fail and too big to jail. It's all about this word, crony capitalism. Now, when it comes to us dealing with each other individually, what's a free marketplace? Really, in essence, a free marketplace could be a flea market, where there's really not much regulation out there, not much going on. I'm sure not much taxes being paid at flea markets either. That's the true free market. Guy A says, I want to buy that. Guy B says, well, I want this for it. Guy A says, well, they're available out here for this price, and then they come together on a price. That's free market capitalism. Crony capitalism is when the one guy comes in the flea market, says you can only deal with me for this product and this product, and then they expand their product list. And also, when it comes to, they make the rules, they write up the rules, and again, that's why we have the situation in precious metals markets with too big to fail and too big to jail. It's all because of crony capitalism. Folks, you got to put your foot down at some point and say no more. But you can't do that unless you understand what it is, and unless you explain to your children the difference between crony capitalism. Your children, your neighbors, your friends, the people that just don't understand economics. It's a simple thing to teach people, the difference between crony capitalism and free market capitalism. We just did it in a few minutes here. Well, let's get into not much precious metal news out there. As I said, we're kind of sideways today. And again, good buying opportunity even at these levels. I know it's above 1800. Could it get monkey hammered again below 1800 on gold, and silver back down to that $23 mark and high 22s? Oh, sure it could. And as I said, I expect the super big, giant, mega monkey hammering to happen when, not if, when, again, the stock market, the equity markets, the bond markets take a big, giant crap like they did in 2008. When that happens, that'll be the largest dip you're going to ever see in precious metals in a long time. I bet it'll be paper only. Trust me on this. You won't be able to buy the real stuff at those levels. Let's move into the clown world, more or less, which is basic news out here. Again, not too much in precious metals. Of course, I have to make a few comments. I'm definitely going to get rid of my Chase cards. I can't say I particularly like this gentleman, but I don't dislike him either. However, this is just another piece of crony capitalism. What is crony capitalism? Crony capitalism is when a major company is asked by political or maybe politicians to make a guy disappear somehow, and that may even mean his own credit. Now, if it can happen to him, it can happen to anybody. So, meanwhile, I'm taking my Chase Bank. Any business that I do with them is gone now. Rip, 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 rip. I think I got one card. I hardly use it, but I'm not going to use it now. And the other thing is I won't use their business in the future, loans or anything, just based on this kind of political bullshit. This is crony capitalism, folks. I'm going to try to stay with. I'm going to try to stay on the path here and see if I can find any. Boy, that's a shame, and boy, that's a shame as well. And that's just never going to end. You know, it's like certain things. They got to keep the. It's like a magician, you know. When he keeps something in his hand, he distracts your attention. The distraction while he's doing something else. That's probably what this is, a big distraction right now. It's a shame, but big distraction. Meanwhile, they got their hands in our pockets while we're focusing on that with the news. That's why corporate news sucks. And, wow, I'm going off today. Wow, isn't that pretty heavy right there? What's that going to do to video game stocks? That is amazing. Anybody? This is ZH, by the way. You should read that article. Wow, they're really cracking down. You know, and that's probably the worst people they can crack down on is teenagers. You know, what are you going to do? Go out and shoot a bunch of teenagers when they start rioting because they can't play video games? That's crazy. That may have been the big mistake the CCP made for sure. And $13 billion month-end pension selling. Didn't read that, but $13 billion, that's a lot of money. But when you're talking about economies that do trillions now, maybe billions is not that much. And Iridium jumps on rumor new iPhones may use satellite connectivity. That's kind of cool. I don't know much about Iridium and the price of Iridium. Let's take a look here. I'm just curious more. Iridium spot price. Let me type that in. A lot of companies probably have that. Actually, I know one that does, but I can't think of the URL right now. Iridium spot. Let's take a look at Iridium spot. And daily metal price. Let's take a look here. What does Iridium cost? And where is it? Oh, come on, please. Iridium price is, wow, $5,200 per ounce. That stuff's expensive. Holy smokes. Wonder what Iridium looks like. I haven't even looked at it. I think it's like this grayish powder metal. I have owned it before. I think they do sell it, Iridium. Let's take a look at the images. Yeah, dull gray powdery metal. That's Iridium, and that's like $5,200 a month. I saw a great YouTube video, by the way, of people that experiment with all these different metals. They burn them, put electricity on them, all kinds of stuff, vaporize them. Iridium is a pretty amazing metal as well, but again, didn't know. $5,200 a month. Wow, that's a lot. Where do we go from here? While in Jackson Hole, the Fed in no way indicates it is about to stop digging. Yeah, that's probably, I think Powell's jawboning on Friday, more or less. He made no mention of any time frame, even more or less. Just kind of the same thing, jawboning, kicking the can down the road. That'd be a great description, just kicking the can down the road. That's probably why precious metals really didn't get hammered too much. There just wasn't the opportunity. If Powell had said that, put a time frame, we think. Even if he said we think we're going to start tightening in December. If he just said we think. All right, he probably would have tanked the stock market, number one, but maybe, not sure, but it would have been a whole different scenario. I think gold and silver could have got monkey hammered. Pretty sure it would have had somehow. To the extent that it was 2 weeks prior, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it would have. However, Powell just came out and really didn't say much of anything. He just kicked the can down the road. It was pretty recognizable that he did. Meanwhile, I think that gave people that would monkey hammer precious metal markets in the evening on Sunday night some pause to think about it, that maybe this wasn't the best time to do it. Let's move down here. This is, wow, that's pretty crazy, but it's nice to see Greek people setting up for their rights. And I like to see more Americans do that. Not too much again. I look down here and I'll just go off into some political stuff. And again, even on gata.org, the #1 website out there for understanding who the players are in precious metals. Not too much to talk about. This was kind of interesting. Remember a couple years back when, I don't know how long it's been actually though. 2015 I think is when they decided to do it. I don't know when they actually built it, but Texas had built a bullion depository that they were going to use for storing people's gold, even people from outside the state. They did it for their teachers union or another union or something, pension funds and all that, the people that run the pensions funds. They built their own little depository for gold. All the people in the gold business said, that's great, man. It's nice to see them investing. I didn't really know that they got out of that gold investment last year or so. And hopefully they made some good money on it, I'm thinking, and whether they're going to get back into it or not. No less, apparently the bullion depository place that they built is not being used and just a costly thing for taxpayers. Well, the best I can say, even in the best intentioned states like Texas and Florida, I like Florida too, and the best intended states like Texas, that even when you give government something to do, if you ask them to build you a mouse, they're going to build you an elephant, and that's probably what we have going on here. And I like Texas. I like their government there. And that's really about it. Play the odds by not gambling in written markets. That was by Stephen Gleason. Good article as well. Stephen basically comes out and says, stop playing in those paper markets. Something I just said a little bit ago, and we've been saying for a long time. You want to take the wind out of their sails. Get rid of those ETFs. Again, my opinion, not an advisor here, and you know why I say that as well. But no less. For me, take the wind out of their sails. Get rid of your paper ETF investments with silver, SLV, GLD. Buy the real stuff, folks. I think you're going to be better off in the long run for it as well. And again, that's just my opinion. Well, let's move along from here. Key inflation gauge post fastest annual price in 30 years. That's kind of interesting. The PCE. It just went right skyrocket through the roof. For some reason, this has not surprised corporate media or mainstream media. I guess because we kind of all expected it, and bankers and governments don't want us to play this up. But the truth is, inflation has been here to stay for a long time. It's raised its ugly head before the closures, and it's going to continue to get even worse. And it's not going to get better. Stuff's not going to get cheaper, folks. Just remember that. It's just not going to happen. Despite what they tell you. And again, if you can't trust government and media, who can you trust? And you definitely can't trust them guys, for sure, especially when it comes to things like this, your own well-being. Let's take a look at the videos. We had 2 videos out on Friday, and I explained that, and I do apologize. It looks like it kind of broke it up into a couple different pieces. 3 videos. I forgot to do the coin toss. But it was supposed to be 2. We uploaded the first one, and what happens? The first one, it wouldn't even show up on YouTube. It just kind of sat there for 2 hours and didn't do anything. So we uploaded another one, and by the time we went to look, all kinds of people were commenting on the first video. So really, you don't want to delete that. And the second video, people were commenting on it. So there's our excuse for having 2 videos up at the same time with the same content. I do apologize for that on Friday. And as far as the coin toss goes, that was supposed to be done second. I don't even know if that got up. So, sorry again. My apologies. Didn't mean to make you look twice. Not trying to clickbait you, unlike many people do. Well, Friday's video, more or less, let's take a look at it from here. I'd like to thank all the people that commented. Bob got to be 2 times in the same day on my video as well. Thanks, Bo. I appreciate it. Not Bob. I'm sorry. I'd like to thank everyone else here for watching. Let me see. Oh, God, I got some people from Thailand, I think, watching. Hey, thanks, Chrysanthemum. That's nice to see. I'm kind of mostly doing these videos for my local customers because I only deal locally. I don't deal online or anything like that. But it's nice to see people outside my area learning something and enjoying my videos as well. I appreciate all of you watching, too. Fall the Empire's mate must be an English gentleman. I guess it is. Yeah, the sins of use will feel the most. We have been, in my opinion, the enslavement of Western civilization, Mr. Enslavement of Western civilizations. We have been in decline for a long time. I think of our apex. I think our true apex financially and everything would have been 2000 to 2018 thereabouts. So hold on, 2000, 2008. I think that was our apex as far as economics go across the country. Everybody was doing well, seemingly doing well. I think, and that's from the credit expansion, the credit bubble that the Fed created, and it was only a matter of time before it went downhill, and it's continuing to. Again, thanks for watching. Didn't mean to go off there again. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Captain Brad says, "Hey, Captain, I appreciate you coming by, and I appreciate you being a good local customer as well." And Own Nothing Be Happy says, "Would love to visit your shop. I'm from Holland. Travel costs make it hard to break even." Wow, Holland too. Hey, it's nice to see people again outside my area watching. Captain Brad's a local here, does come into my store all the time. However, I would recommend you folks, it's hard to find a good local dealer. Not everyone's going to be like me. I don't know if that's good or bad, but no less, find yourself a good local dealer, even if you have to travel a little bit or spend some time doing it. It's really worth it, especially if you live in Holland, sir. It's a long trip. I wouldn't want to see you come over here to buy from me, even though I'd love to meet you and love to talk to you. That would be a long trip just to buy gold and silver. Now, if you're over here on vacation, maybe we'll go fishing, but to come over here and buy gold and silver, no. You got to find local dealers, folks. Good local dealers in your area. They do exist. They may be like unicorns in some part of the world, in some part of the United States, but they do exist out there, and I recommend you go find them. Hey, I'd like to thank everybody for watching that video. And, oh, there's another video. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. I'm not ending with my typical screen here, ending with all the videos we've done. Holy smokes, too. Take a look at I didn't realize I've done a lot of videos. Let me go down the page here. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I need a vacation, folks. I haven't missed a single day on these for over a year and a half. You can see I changed up my format here a little bit. There's the old videos too. Well, gosh, it goes back a ways. They've been doing these a while. Well, again, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.